So they're doing this report on mosquitoes, okay, and the West Nile virus, triple E. Remember, people, remember what was it, 2 years ago when they decided to start releasing all kinds of hybrid mosquitoes? Do you remember this? What do you think is carrying the viruses that are being reported now? This West Nile virus and all that. I don't believe this nonsense over many headline stories, and this is one of them. This has been another fabricated virus, as far as I'm concerned. This is not a natural virus. This is done through the creation of hybrid mosquitoes. 7:55 a.m. And we'll go from talking of mosquitoes, which, yeah, I have been amongst the mosquitoes all year so far. Spring, summer, and now fall. Well, I'm still here. Transmission of viruses. Blood-borne viruses. How else do we have transmissions of blood-borne viruses? Yep. Remember, we're going into an artificial age, a synthetic age. Donald Trump is all for this new age. Elon Musk is all for this new age. Who is trying to block the advances of AI? Is there anybody trying to block the advances of 6G? And then when we get into all this, well, we got to take into consideration the laws of the land. Now, I have to state that when it comes down to the laws of this land, there's far, far too many laws, because if, you have to actually go back 100 years or further with a group of lawyers to try to find a law that will stick in order to try to convict somebody of something. And it takes a whole group of lawyers to search through the library of law or laws in order to burn someone. When it comes down to where someone commits a crime today, are they only committing one crime? No, they are convicted of multiple crimes. And the more that a individual or group or party is against you, the more laws that they will bring against you to convict you, because they gotta make something stick today. Now then, how often do we see our own government here in the United States break laws? Well, we have many laws today over discrimination, do we not? The FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, is now coercing companies into practices of age discrimination through tobacco sales or tobacco paraphernalia, tobacco-related paraphernalia. They are coercing people through this new law that they're coming out with, or rule, excuse me, that is supposed to take effect September, the end of September, I believe, to where you cannot sell tobacco or tobacco-related products unless you look 30 years or older. This is a practice of age discrimination. This is training the younger generation to practice discrimination that much more. I am over 30 years old. I do not look 30 years old, but I am still forced into showing my ID whenever I have to purchase tobacco products to suffice my nasty habit. I do not plan on showing my ID anymore. And if you agree, and if you are a tobacco user of any type, you might, and if you are over the age of 30, and you look over the age of 30, I would ask you not to comply with this new rule, as it is breaking the law, the discriminatory laws that are out there. Make sense? I am hell-bent to expose. The gods won't let me get away from doing this stuff. Yes, I said the gods. My higher self. I am sick and disgusted. I am over 50 years old. I have seen the changes. I have seen the deceptions, the corruption, the nonsense. And if you think things are going to get better, especially through any kind of political elections, think again. I know what's coming. And it doesn't matter who is elected or selected or whatever the case may be. Everything is nonsense today, people. You need to wake up. You need to participate. If you don't, well, what do you consider yourself to be? Compliant? Well, if you're that compliant, run on out and get a damn shot. That's the way I look at it. If you're compliant, go ahead. If you really feel the need that you have to fly someplace, yeah, make sure that you've got that driver's license that permits you to board planes. Yeah, I don't. I am not compliant with that nonsense. I have nowhere to fly to. Why even comply? I am sick and tired of seeing so much compliance in this country to nonsense, to the deceptions and corruption. It's going to end. Believe you me. Like I said, or maybe I didn't, there's steps being taken already to, lock down the United States. In some form or fashion. It might still be a couple of years, but it's coming. You better start waking up to what this government is all about. We have too much government. They are ever increasingly taking your so-called freedoms and rights away, especially with every time that somebody decides, oh, well, we need to have a new bill so that we can create a new law, so that we can have more control, more dominance. We got to keep corporate America alive. Yeah, let's keep working. See, that's why they keep talking about Social Security and all that. This is a slave labor world. And it's been that way since the beginning of time. You know, people use the terminology gods, and they want to believe in all these mythological, imaginatory pictures in their heads over, you know, what gods were. Gods is just a loose term for leaders, rulers, just like Lord, Master, you know? And when you realize that a lot of these terminologies originated during the Middle Ages, you know, that time period to where the good book was originated, and if you understand the history of that good book, yeah, we'll get there. Yeah, these idiots flood my mailbox every week with their propaganda. Talk about a waste of paper and plastic. Anyway, back here we got the rising of this greater light. A lot of yuck in the air, humidity. And I'm going to tell you people, you know, I know that I am on the right track with what I bring out, what I put on the table to share with all of you. Why do I know that I'm right? Because I'm constantly being fought against by this platform, by its once upon a time parent company or what have you. Or, you know, even maybe Verizon, the crooked phone company that I have to go through. Well, I don't have to, but yeah, that's where my money goes. It takes longer and longer and longer for me to upload anything anymore. I'm barely getting any kind of internet connection. The type of information I release is the type of information they don't want you to know. And I'm going to become that much more adamant with what I do come out with. It's time to fight, people. Fight, fight, fight. Yeah, I kind of like that. I kind of like that when he pumped his fist. Goes back to the 70s. Yeah. And that pump fist in the air. Power to the people. That's been a motto of mine for years, and I've taught that to people, to children even. Many years ago. My girlfriend at the time, her granddaughter, I got her to start saying power to the people. Well, of course, that pump fist also was the insignia or icon or motto or whatever for the black movement. Black power. Right? Well, one day that little girl walks up to this black guy that was part of a party, neighborhood party, and she walks right up and pumps her fist in the air and she says, "Power to the people!" Boy, you should have seen the look on his face. And he smiled, busted out laughing, gave her a hug. It was something else. But that's the kind of influence that I have on people. I'm getting more views. I'm reaching more people slowly but surely. And I guess I'm being put in the position to continue to do so. And I am going to do so. I am going to fight, fight, fight. Although I am not a Trumper. I'm sure enough not a Democrat. But then I hold no political affiliations any longer because I understand the nonsense.